Hello and welcome. So this is going on a slight tangent, but it's just to set the scene for what made me think about doing this video. I play quite a few Xbox and PlayStation games and watch a lot of great YouTube channels like the Ackman, Skill Up, Angry Joe, there's lots and lots of them, and they're very attuned to the personal computer and console industry, and highlight the rip-off factor of digital keys in gaming now. So instead of buying a physical disc, you get a code, and it blows my mind. The business culture of a lot of the online companies is just criminal now. I totally agree with John from Digital Foundry. He was on Skill Up a couple of weeks ago, and he was just giving a really good example about how you can buy some physical games second hand for £8 or £10, or and then they're on sale for a fraction of the price of the digital copy, which a lot of the time there's no give there. So they have complete control over the pricing, and it's always it's always a rip off. It's always like as much as they can get away with, really. So there's no they're not paying for a physical box, they're not paying for the physical graphics, they're not paying for the distribution, and they're paying the same price for a digital key as in the past you'd buy a physical copy, which you could give to someone else or sell to someone else, or you can buy second hand or buy discount priced. And so there's a lot of talk now about when the next GTA game comes out, that could be 90 quid, and that could just be again a digital key, just the number for 90 quid. So I mean, it's incredible the state of, and the control, really. I mean, that's what it is, really. It's just the control these companies have over our experience, and in this respect it's removing the physicality of the game. So that's my experience to date with console gaming. That just a money grab, basically, and they try and these big businesses will try and get away with whatever they can for the most amount of money, and this leads into role-play gaming, and it's a similar feeling. It reminded me of the first time when I went into Games Workshop on a Saturday morning, and just looking to see what new figures were available, and seeing the huge display in the shop of Warhammer 40,000 had come out, and the plastic figures, the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines made of plastic. And that was mind-blowing to me, because it was like, well, what is going on here? And it seemed very clear to me at that time. So these are my feelings at that moment of, this was a con that Games Workshop were setting up this game to try and get basically to fleece the gamer. These were plastic, they weren't metal, they were mass produced, and I didn't like it at all. And I suppose, you know, it doesn't bother me at all. You know, you know, since then, obviously, over the years, it's only in the last 10, 15, 20 years that I've actually followed gaming again on YouTube and seeing people like Angry Joe playing, and it looks fantastic. You know, the Warhammer, you know, I know Angry Joe started his Warhammer series because he's a massive fan, and I've watched those because I enjoy it, you know, and I can see how great they are now. So yeah, but it did have that feeling to me, so I wanted to have a look and you know, see for myself. So I'll straight up say that is plastic gaming today more expensive than metal gaming in 1985? I think no, and I'll show you why. So please bear with me. Right, so let me show you. This is the process I went through. So so maybe I'm feeling like I probably am I've gone a bit balmy, but this is what I started with. So this was the advertisement at the time for new sell figures. So these are the metal figures that had just come out, and they were 75p each in British money, in UK money, and you could get a deal for £5.50 for 8 of them. Now, if we compare the prices, so that's the prices in 1985. So I went on the inflation, on one of the inflation websites. So I thought, why not do the Bank of England? And so like £7 in 1985 is now £21 today. So again, so it's you know, 75p, so roughly, you know, 10 Marines, if you bought 10 Marines for 75p, you're paying just over, you know, 20 something pounds. Yes, 22, 23 pounds. And obviously, if you got 8 of them, you know, that was much cheaper. That was only £5.50 instead of £7.50 for 10. The reason I'm thinking in terms of 10 is because when I have to look online, so this is again in UK, you can buy the Warhammer 40k starter pack, and that's the Space Marines Assault Intercessors, and that's £40 for 10. So it's almost, it felt that when I first started looking at this, I was thinking, you know, why is plastic twice the price of metal? So at today's prices, it's almost double, or it is double. You know, if you got 10 metal Marines in 1985, the same price is double today for 10 plastic ones, and they come in a very snazzy box, but basically it's 10 plastic Marines compared to 10 in 1985 for half the price. So that's my initial response. But then if you look at, for example, the price of materials, so the price of metal, I had a quick look at how prices had increased over the years, and from the 1990s till you know, only within like 20 something years it had quadrupled the price of metal, the price of lead. So you know, so like metal soldiers are like a mix of lead and white metal, and obviously they got rid of the lead, but just the fact is that metals that have gone up, and in this case it quadrupled in price. So you could imagine, it'd be very expensive, probably trying to maintain the same pricing system in 1985 as with today, due to the increase in the price of metals. And again, if we look at the price of the plastic, so when I had a look online, they're saying most Warhammer 40,000 models are made of polystyrene. So obviously I didn't have anything better to do, so I had to look. And again, the price of polystyrene has increased in the same way as lead has also increased. But polystyrene is not particularly cheap. The materials are not cheap. So the conclusion I came to, that initially it seemed like it was 2 times more expensive at today's prices, but then that's not taking into account that actually materials have become very expensive. So lead's 4 times the price, and the quality of the plastics used are not cheap either. So comparatively, I don't think there is much in it at all. So anyway, so that was my 2 pennies worth, and I'm sure I've got this completely wrong, but it feels to me that apart from obviously it's not metal, but the quality and obviously the paints now are just amazing, and the artwork shown is just it's on a different level, really, I think, to anything that I could try doing myself. So I feel at the end of that, while I feel like computer gaming, you're always feeling very much like having to push back. I feel there's a lot more value actually in roleplay figures, and I don't feel it's anything like the rip-off that obviously it's an expensive hobby, but people love them, don't they? I mean, I had to look at the reviews for the Warhammer 40 figures that I spoke of, and just lots of very positive. I mean, one of the reviewers has over 2,000, and obviously it's pride and joy. So, so you can't take that away from them. And as I said, I think it's thumbs up overall. Then I'd say for figures, and 2 thumbs down for a lot of the gaming shenanigans that are going on at the moment. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope some of that made sense.